Welcome back, listeners. My name is Larry Kallevig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group, celebrating 11 years this year, and we appreciate you listening every week. Feel free to give us a call at any time, today, next week, next year, whatever it is, probably sooner than later, actually. 612-504-8400. Visit us online at havenfinancialgroup.com. I encourage you to, because we have all of our educational classes, the calendar of events. They're all on that website, as well as many retirement tools that are very, very helpful. I'll just draw some attention to a few classes that are coming up. We have Ask all the Experts at Porter Creek. It's a dinner workshop. We do very few of those over the course of the year. That's coming up again at Porter Creek, August 10th and the 13th, where we kind of touch everything with a wide brush, multiple personalities that talk on all these subjects. And then, of course, we love our client appreciation events. Clients look forward to it every year, August 27th at Charlie's on Prior Lake. Charlie's on Prior Lake. We like to support the local merchants, and they do a spectacular job. Food, fun, fellowship, pontoon rides, live music. Yes, you're hearing me correctly. We'd love to have you out. If you know a Haven client, tag along with them. You might not be getting the attention you deserve where you're currently at, and you may not know how good it really can be.
612-504-8400. If anything in this conversation resonates with you, we want to invite you to give the folks here at Haven Financial Group a call. Glenn Ramey is with us. He is an insurance expert who is part of the team there at Haven Financial. And we've been talking about the importance of healthcare costs and being aware that these costs do exist. And there are ways to make this a little bit better for you, right, Glenn? When we're going to start with talking about HSAs, which we're talking to a little bit younger crowd right now because we're talking to the folks who maybe are still working. This is something that's so important to be aware of and to take advantage of if it's offered to you.
Yeah, absolutely. HSAs, I think, are a powerful tool, or health savings account, as they're referred to, are a powerful tool to help not only fund current potential medical bills that might be incurred, pre-fund future medical bills that might be incurred, all, by the way, with tax-free money in that regard. But that also could be a step to retirement planning, too. A lot of people don't know that HSA money that you get to keep when you leave the employer, if you built that account up, that could be funding for certain Medicare premiums in retirement that are another tax-free expense you could be using that money for, in a way to lower your tax brackets in retirement and keep more of that money. I think that old adage, it's not what we make, it's what we keep in retirement, is more important than anything else. And it's that managing taxation that I know Larry will emphasize is one of the most important factors in retirement planning. And having something like a health savings account, a place where you could draw money from and not add to your tax burden to pay what are going to be known consistent expenses, are going to be a powerful tool, I think, that can help you.
Talk folks through an HSA and, what you can contribute and how long you can contribute, that kind of thing. And then again, what it can specifically be used for.
Yeah. So to have a HSA, you have to have a high deductible qualified plan. Your employer has to offer an HSA eligible health insurance policy. And then you're allowed to put in a certain amount per year, capped out either at a single individual or a family plan, more than one person on the policy, to anywhere from roughly $5,000 to $10,000 per year that could be going to a health savings account. That is, again, tax-free money going in. You can invest that money into certain other markets to try to get a better rate of return, tax-free growth in that money, and then tax-free distributions. As long as it's used for eligible expenses, you pay no income tax on the distribution of that money in that regard. Many employers often will match a little bit of money in your HSA. So sometimes an employer may offer a little bit of a bonus. Select this healthcare policy and we'll put a little bit of money in your health savings account. And once that money goes in that account, it's yours. You own it, not the employer, because you're going to be the one walking away with that account when you stop working with that job.
But are you required to spend a certain amount of that money each year?
Not at all. And it's not use it or lose it either. So people often confuse flexible spending accounts or cafeteria plans, they sometimes refer to, that our employer allows us to put money into tax-free, take it out to buy things at the pharmacy or even over-the-counter items. But that money, if you don't spend, the employer gets to keep. HSAs are not that at all. Every dollar that you put into the HSA is always yours. And whatever you don't spend rolls over into the next year and just gets added in with the funds you're going to contribute to that plan the next year. Continue to build that account over time.
Yeah. I can't hear much bad about that for sure for people who have that opportunity. That is for certain. Glenn, let's talk about long-term care. We talk about this, and you always have stats that scare me out of my mind. And that is not because you're trying to be a scary guy. It's just a fact.
Not at all. No, not at all.
I think when people think about long-term care, they get very frightened. They get frightened because they want to think, gosh, first off, I don't need that. I'll never need that. But unfortunately, that may not be the case. And secondly, I think people worry that it's so incredibly expensive.
Yeah, and I understand that sentiment. I don't want to forget one thing on the HS side real quick, though. Understand you can't contribute if you have any part of Medicare, even just Part A. And they will backdate that Part A when you sign up if you delayed. So you have to cut off the HSA contributions early. Just didn't want to forget that component on the HSI side. But talking about the long-term care, right? This is the thing that your health insurance isn't going to cover for you. I always like to say Medicare is about recovery and recuperation from an acute medical event, not the lifetime maintenance of us. When we talk about those scary statistics, Kim, it's just statistics I think people should know, right? I'm not trying to scare you, but I think knowledge is power. And if you know those things, it means you can act on them before things are too late. And that factor there, 70% of us will need some form of help before we pass away. 50% of us will spend time in a nursing home. And the average stay in a nursing facility is almost 3 years, right? With current median costs in the state of Minnesota now over $10,000 per month to pay that bill. And with an average stay of 3 years, we're talking almost $400,000 of unplanned for medical bills that you might not be addressing in your retirement planning. And this doesn't mean everybody should run out and buy insurance necessarily, right? But it means you should have some type of confident plan that if this event happens, it's not a what are we going to do about it? It's now let's execute the plan we already have. That might be traditional long-term care insurance. It might be life insurance with special provisions in it. It might be annuities with special provisions in them connected to long-term care. There are a lot of ways now you can plan for long-term care. And let's not forget, it might be dedicated self-funding for long-term care as your option, right? As the thing you're exercising to do. It doesn't mean always buying insurance. But I can't emphasize how important it is to have a plan for this, considering how likely someone in your family is going to face this scenario, whether it's yourself or your spouse or both of you.
But was I really off base when I said that people get frightened by this because the expense of it has always been so high? I mean, can it be somewhat affordable for people now?
I think it can be. And I think often people are scared away initially from a Cadillac thrown at them first. Like, let's look at fully funded insurance care for long-term care. And I'm not going to lie that those numbers can be intimidating to individuals that aren't ready or prepared to fully fund long-term care through insurance. I think bridging the gap is an important conversation to have. I think remembering that all other income sources don't turn off the moment you need care, and some of that expendable income you have is going to be able to be diverted towards long-term care funding. But you shouldn't leave out the option of leveraging your dollar while you can, while you're healthy enough to get more out of that dollar if the event happens, with the understanding there are options today that mean that if you don't need it, you didn't give up that dollar. You didn't lose it. You didn't give it away and never to come back to your family because you ended up not needing care in the first place. I think that's one of the few things that people are missing right now when it comes to long-term care planning, is that it doesn't have to be at what people think is a loss. It doesn't have to be, if I stay healthy, I lose. Right? No, there are plans today that you can do that leverage your dollar without giving it up and have that money come right back to your family if you end up not needing the insurance in the first place.
Glenn, if you could comment on the couple that you recently were able to help. They came out to one of our classes. They came in and visited with us. We started the meeting process. They were very concerned as a couple about long-term care, and rightfully so. Genetics, some things that run in the family. And they had saved for retirement, and how you were able to isolate with asset-based long-term care, I think $200,000 or $200,000, whatever, it doesn't make any difference, and how you help them. If you could just comment briefly, because I think that's what listeners really need to hear.
Yeah, so this couple saved good for retirement. I think they were in a good position for retirement, but this is one thing they hadn't planned for yet, and they were concerned about it with family history and genetics, as Larry said. So we're able to find a vehicle for long-term care planning that meant the money they're going to use, that $200,000 Larry mentioned, they're not giving any of that money away. They're repositioning it into a different type of savings vehicle. That savings vehicle isn't eating away at their money, it's adding to it over time with a rate of return. And then that policy leverages that dollar against long-term care needs if they arise. So this couple is taking $200,000 of their retirement savings, and by all means, numbers are proportional. Not everybody has to do this amount, but they're going to have $600,000 day one in long-term care benefits for each of them to be used for long-term care planning. And after a time of that account building with that interest they're going to be receiving, they're probably going to have close to $1 million for long-term care benefits by the time they actually need long-term care, without giving any of that money away, without losing access to that money if they needed it for something else, and knowing that if neither of them ended up needing that long-term care at all of the money plus the interest the money attained would be going back to their family instead.
So, Glenn, would it be okay if I ask you, without you revealing too much, how old is this couple? When did they start this process?
69 and 61 years of age.
Okay.
So people that think I'm too old to plan for long-term care. I'm not 50 anymore. I can't plan for long-term care. It's too expensive. I think those individuals are missing a lot of opportunities because they're afraid to have the conversation, or they're assuming all of the options are already exhausted when they're actually not. I would say I wish people plan at long-term care 50 more often than they do. But the reality is a lot of people don't. And I've had 70-year-olds, 73-year-olds plan for long-term care. So I think that idea that I got too old and now that bridge is passed is one that you should remove. It's not true.
I'm glad that you added that in. 612-504-8400 is how you reach Glenn and all of the team there at Haven Financial Group. If some of this is resonating with you, if you're someone who is looking for a partner to work through your retirement health care plans, maybe you already have a plan and you'd like somebody to look at it, to maybe review it, to make sure that you've taken the steps that you need to make sure that you're covered well and you're covered in a way that you can afford as a retiree, give them a call. It's 612-504-8400. And as Larry likes to say, they have all the puzzle pieces that they can put together when it comes to retirement planning there at Haven. So not just your healthcare costs. All right, when we come back, saving money while staying healthy. You're listening to the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.